Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Gamer Dad here. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the fourth installment for the news of the week, and I have a lot to go over with you today, as far as like some leaks for some two games that were actually got ratings overseas, not here in the West. Then there's actually some new RPG news for games that were just announced for coming out for physically, as well as the games of the week, and some amazing deals for some rare game reprints. So I'm really looking so forward to being able to bring this all to you. So if you actually do like this kind of content, and you actually do like these videos, throw a like on the video, comment down below that you do like this series. Maybe you even look forward to being able to see it hopefully every Saturday, or whenever it is that you actually get around to watching it for the Nintendo news of the week. So without further ado, let's get right into this video.
Nintendo news of the week! Hear all about it!
So the very first thing we actually have is, I don't know if you want to classify it as a leak, but there was actually, we know of two games that are coming out soon for the Switch and the Switch 2 because they got ratings. The first one was actually for Tales of Eternia, which actually got a PEGI rating. And so this is actually going to be part of the Tales of series for their 35th anniversary, where they're doing all the remasters. They've actually already gone through everything, all the Tales of games that were on the PS3. Well, now it looks like they're finally starting to move over to the games that were on the PS2. And this is actually a really good thing because all the people that missed out on all those games, now they're actually being able to play these games now with modern quality of life features and somewhat updated graphics. But it's just being able to experience that, broaden out the Tales of fan base, and hopefully we'll see a new entry coming out here pretty soon. And so the very next thing we actually had was ratings for this game for the Nintendo Switch 2 is that Dragon Quest XI is going to be coming to the Switch 2. This was rated in Taiwan. So we know that it's going to be, since it has the rating, all the information's there. And so it's going to be coming here to the Switch 2. This was an amazing game. Like the graphical wise, I actually really did enjoy this game, although I need to get back into it because I did not finish it. I'm just being perfectly honest with you, but it was still a great game, and really looking forward to whenever it is they're going to give out some information for Dragon Quest XII. I mean, we've been looking forward to that since they sent the teaser trailer, years ago at this point. So maybe on Dragon Quest Day, we might actually get some information for that. Fingers crossed on that one. So, very next thing we actually have for announcements, news that happened for this week. First, I have to go through and say this. So, my youngest daughter, she surprised me when I got home from work with this little toy, which is what I was searching for when I hatched. If you watch the video, which I was opened up a couple of the boxes trying to find it, and I just got a bunch of Yoshis because if you watch the channel, you can tell from the hat, I love Bowser. Bowser's my favorite guy. And she went with some friends from after school for like a little party thing that they actually had. And so she got a kid's meal. This is the toy she got. So she gave this to me as soon as I got home from work. And I promised her that I would put it in the video about that she got it for me. So I will actually throw it up there right next to Yoshi. So he's gonna sit up there. So thank you to her. Hey, for that alone, if you think that's a cute little story, go ahead, throw a like on the video. I won't hold it against you if you want to sit there, go out there and throw it on there for her. But so these are actually for some news announcements that actually came out for games. So they actually released earlier this week. I did a video about this. The Final Fantasy Rebirth has a demo out now for the Nintendo Switch 2. I mean, it's for the Xbox too, but I don't really care about that. But I did play it, and what I played for it was really great. There's no hiccups. The visuals are just as spectacular as Intergrade was, if not better. And I played it in dock mode as well as handheld mode, and there's no issues for it that I saw. It looked just as beautiful in handheld mode as it did in docked, although just smaller. But that's a complete aside. Also, this week, Mario Galaxy 2 got an update, and what they did was they added on to the storybook there. It's like a little epilogue. Just there's nothing canon or anything from the movie. It's just a little bit of information more so that they added on to the story from the original game. And also something else that happened, like not really this week, but I heard about it this week and I did a video on it. So if you actually do kind of want to check that out, it's there for the Uroboros box that they actually have at Playasia. And what this is this is actually a collector's edition that is a lot more affordable if you wanted something like a special collector's edition for Trails in the Sky, the second chapter. The only bad thing is that it is all completely in Japanese. So unless you know Japanese, that just going to put that out there. But this collector's edition is for $100, and it does include the game, like for the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge game. It includes a 500-page art book, a soundtrack. There actually is a kind of like a DLC costume, much like what if you got the DLC mascot costumes that were there, you could get for Trails in the Sky, the first chapter. And watch what this is like they look like sheep. This is from what I saw from the picture. And I think there actually is an animation, small one was included. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head everything was on. But if you just check out the video, I went over everything that was included into that for the $100. Hey there, everyone. I just really want to take a pause out of this video right now just to thank you all so much for watching in the video. If you are someone new, please do subscribe. Or even if you're a returning viewer and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do hit it. Help me to get to that next milestone. I know that with all y'all's help that I can get there. That is not out of reach. And it gets closer and closer with even just one more subscriber every day. And it means the world to me. All of your views, all of your likes, shares, you can hype up the videos now. It all helps me out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm to get out there, to keep going, to keep growing. And I just can't say that, like, I thank you so much. And I appreciate everything you all do for me. And also, I do have the memberships available if that is something you choose to do to support me, support the channel, keep producing content for you. And also, join me over there on X. Join the GamerDad family over there. I have 3 people over there. I've had 3 people for like the longest time. But if you're actually curious about anything else, that's like games that are coming in, like for pickups videos, here's for Griffin Night, and games I'm playing as I've beaten them, or just any random things to hear in my life, I do post on there. So, that out of the way, let's get right back into this video. And actually, then now we're going to move into the new RPG news. So these are new RPGs that were just announced to be getting physical releases, although one of these is actually a game key card, which is this very first one for, I don't know if you want to call it Cryme Light or if it's Cryme Light, but this is actually going to be a part of the Cry series, for Crystar and Cry Machina. And so it's going to be another RPG by Furyu. And so it is, like I said, it is a game key card. At this time, we don't know if it's actually going to be getting a Western release. But because the very last game that they did, which was Varlet, was it was an import exclusive. It never actually got a release here in the West. So we don't know if this one will be or not. But just bringing this to you. And so everyone knows that we actually did for I think it was for the partner showcase, when they actually showed in the sizzle reels for Culdcept Begins. And I've done a video about that coming to I was coming to the West. It was ordered through VGP. Well, VGP actually has a exclusive right now. So for Culdcept the First. So this is another entry into that series. This actually was previously locked in Japan on the Sega Saturn, but now it's actually going to be coming here, so you can get it on the Nintendo Switch through VGP. And I believe it actually has a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. It's called like the Scepter edition. And the collector's edition comes with a whole bunch of different stuff. I'll have to do some looking into it to be able to put it down in below. I will actually try to put the links down below for this if it's something that interests you, because it is a deck building RPG where you're actually using the cards to battle, and there's over 300 cards to choose from, and just like it looks like a really interesting concept on how you play the game of. It's actually supposed to be kind of like a board game, but the very next thing that you have is another RPG that was actually coming here to the West for Brigadine Abyss, but as it's coming to the West, it's as a game key card, but it is actually getting released in Hong Kong as a full-on proper cartridge for the Nintendo Switch 2. And so that if you're not one of these people where if you don't care if it's a game key card, sure, go ahead, pick up the Western release. But if you're someone who really hates game key cards and you don't mind that it isn't the ESRB, then go ahead. Here you can order it from Hong Kong and get it as a proper cartridge for this game. And I think it will be actually a really highly sought after import for people wanting to get this game like fully physical. Next one we actually have is for Hyke Northern Lights. This looks like a very simplistic game, but it is actually going to be getting a release here. And it's, from what I understand from the graphics, it really brings you kind of like back to like the Super Nintendo days. And while the gameplay was very simple, as from one of the reviews I've read on it, it's actually a really well-regarded, shorter RPG. And so this actually kind of puts it on my radar for something. And because I remember when it came out and I was interested in it, but it was digital only. Well, now it's getting a physical release, which is something that is really like I'm excited for. So hoping you're excited for it too. Now, moving right along to the games that were released this week. So the very first one we actually have up here for Ys Memoire, Revelations in Celceta. This got a release here, and this is actually a remaster, redoing of, I believe it was Ys 4. And in the timeline of things, this is actually supposed to take part like right after the events of Ys 10. So in the story, an adult story. And I have ordered it. Unfortunately, it hasn't come in. But this is actually like the second time that they've actually done for this game. And it looks really good. It looks like a really fun time. I'm a big fan of the Ys games now that I've actually got to play Ys 10. And I have played Origins and Oath and Felghana. And I beat and enjoyed both of those games. I really need to get into 8 and 9. Eventually. I just kind of don't have time. But the very next game that you released this week is This Is Fine Maximum Cope. If anyone's ever like a meme expert, then you've seen the pictures of the dog there. I think he's sitting at the table, the chair, like just drinking some tea while his whole house is on fire. He's like, "This is fine." Yes. Well, they turned the meme into a game, which is, I guess, I don't know how you want to sit there out there and make a game out of a meme, but they did it. And it's supposed to be a Metroidvania focusing a lot on exploration, along with like an action kind of platformer and everything. And it looks like a really fun time, and it like looked really interesting. And I kind of interested in getting this game just for the meminess of it and saying that you have it. I just think that this might be something kind of special down the line, because memes don't last forever. So eventually when this goes away, people are like, what is that? That's just the way everything works. It comes into fashion and then it goes out. I've lived through enough to know that. And so the next thing, finally here in the West, they've actually released for Shuten Order. And this was actually something really exciting for me because how they're going to be blending in all these different genres into this game to make like one cohesive game. And so it looked like something really special that got released for the Nintendo Switch and the Switch 2. And it actually came out like last week in Europe. But this week, now it's our turn here in the West, so we can actually get it. And I have ordered this one as well. And it is a proper cartridge on the Switch 2, not a game key card. And so something for y'all to be looking forward to if you were actually interested in this game. And the last thing that actually came out, this is actually a game for the more cultured people, and it is an idle RPG, which I have no idea what an idle RPG is. I've had idle RPGs on my phone where you just you can click in the very next day and it's apparently been doing things about it, so I don't know how that's supposed to work on a system, but it's called Idle Devils Ultimate Edition, and this includes like all the DLC for all the different women, and from the trailers for it, they are, if you ever played the original Dead or Alive, or not Dead or, was it Dead or Alive? I don't know. I think it was Dead or Alive. Fighting game back in the girls. Yeah. Bounciness is very much on the table here for fan service and for, I guess you want to say, for people of culture. So hey, if you're one of those people, you kind of want this game, I'm going to sit there and say this right now. This might actually be a game because of the way the censor boards are. If you want to pick this and just add to your collection, not even just to play it, it might be something that might be rare down the line because there's only so many of these games they're going to be printing before censorship just kind of shuts them all out. And they do tend to, for whatever reason, kind of get sought after a little bit in the future after the print runs run out. And so they just get really hard to find. And so now we're moving on to the deals of the week.
Deals of the week.
Now, the very first deal of the week is I actually heard about this on someone else's channel that I was watching for 90s Handheld Gamer, in which he told me, like, I was not aware of this because I did last week's video about Walmart was actually doing for their pricing, for the variable pricing that Nintendo has between their physical and digital games. Well, Walmart was just selling their games. If you pre-ordered them for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book and for Splatoon Raiders, they were selling them at the price for the digital, not for the physical. So you would actually been getting them cheaper for your physical copy as you would, as opposed to everywhere else. Well, now Amazon is actually doing that as well for Yoshi and Splatoon Raiders. And so this might be a trend. Maybe some other companies might start doing this with the variable pricing that Nintendo is going to do, or Nintendo might shut them out and say, hey, just don't do that anymore, which they might go away. So this deal, how long is it going to last for? I don't know. It might want to be getting your pre-order if these games interested you in before that happens, if that sale or whatever it is goes away. So as of this recording, it is still there. So if you, by the time you see this video, whatever time that is, if it goes away, I'm sorry, but right now it's there. So that's why I'm saying, like, right now, as of this recording, May 1st, that you can take advantage of that. And then the very next one is these are reprints at VGP for two very sought after, very rare games. I mean, if you're wanting to get these games, they were getting up there in the pricing range. First one is actually for Forgive Me Father. And it's like a first-person shooter, and there is actually a Forgive Me Father 2, which is out as well. But this very first one here, for Forgive Me Father, if you were actually looking to get this online, like for eBay, anywhere else like that, you're looking at upwards of $100. So this here, you can get it at VGP at regular retail price. And so I will actually include the links down below for this game. And the second one is actually for Legend of Nayuta. And this is actually it's supposed to be as a part of the Legend of Heroes series, which is the Trails series, but it isn't an actual entry in the Trails series, if that makes any sense. It's kind of like the outlier for the series. But they still include it as being a part of the series, even though it has nothing to do with the story. And unlike the regular Ys game, or not Ys games, the Trails games, this is actually like an action RPG, much like a Trails game. And I've played through and beat this game. The story is engaging. Graphics and the controls were really tight. I have a feeling it played really well on the Switch, even though now with the Switch 2, you can put it in boost mode. I'm sure it probably might even play any better. I haven't tried it, just to be honest with you. So, but this is just a game, and if you were actually looking to get it right now, you're looking anywhere like from 70 to 80 bucks is what you'd be looking for getting. So for now, you can get it here for a lot cheaper. And so that's why I included it here for the deals of the week. And finally, to wrap this video, my pick of the week for the games. And so the game that interested me the most, that I was like super excited that I did order, and I'm sad that it didn't come in because it was supposed to come in today, and that is actually for Ys Memoire. I pre-ordered the day one edition. It was supposed to be coming in today, and for some hiccup reason, it's not here. So bummer, but it's fine because I'm still getting through Pragmata, and actually for the Final Fantasy VII for that demo, playing through it, so I can have plenty to keep me occupied until it shows up. Another video in the books. Thank you so much for anyone who's still here and still watching. I can't thank you enough. But just if you do like these videos, throw a comment down below, throw a like on the video. I hope you all really do enjoy it. Have a great day, a great night. God bless you all. I'll see you all next time.